Thanks to Proposition 1, a long overdue project is now underway on a primary east-west traffic route on the city's southwest side. City crews are currently working in the project's initial phase.
This is one in a series of projects that are going to take 18th Street from Broadway all the way to the back of the cement plant toward Hickory Street. And this is a complete rebuild, which includes all the drainage and the ADA sidewalks and the whole works. So it's going to be a pretty extensive project, Prop 1 project. Prop 1's the infrastructure tax, the 3/4 cents that we get to do infrastructure, which includes all the sewage stuff that we're doing and the roads, resurfacing and the water and that kind of thing. So it's really important to us, and it's one of the things that allows us to do bigger projects that we wouldn't normally be able to do without that funding.
18th Street runs the width of the entire city limit boundaries, although it isn't continuous. This particular project is for West 18th, which begins on Broadway and runs west into the campus of the cement plant. Due to several schools in the area, this stretch sees a lot of morning and afternoon traffic, which means it is an important passage to rehabilitate.
18th Street's one of the streets that's been prioritized over the last several years. Of course, the middle school's down here, Broadway connects to it, Oak Street connects to it, so it's one of the south streets that run east and west that connect some of our major arteries. We do street prioritization pretty much on a continual basis, but the planning process and the design process and everything that we have to go through takes, usually several years. So this has been on the burner for a while. So we're happy to get started on this one.
The West 18th project is a complete reconstruction. That means city crews are tearing out all of the old road surface, as well as all of the old water and sewer lines that run underneath that surface. The road base will be completely reformed with all new infrastructure installed, and the new driving surface will be long-lasting concrete.
We do it in blocks, and as you can tell from the base that they've got built up here, I mean, it's an extensive process. It takes a long time just to get it prepared to be able to put the street in here. And we're trying to work around the school so we don't disrupt the school during school season too. So once they get to the point where they have the base rebuilt like this, it's a pretty quick process. It's the destruction, preparing for the construction that takes so long. So depending on the weather, we're in a bad time of year with the cold. We can't pour concrete if it's below freezing and it's going to stay there for any length of time. It's got to be above freezing and heading up so the ground can be warm enough for the concrete to set up. So hopefully if everything goes well, we could be done in a couple of weeks, but realistically that's not going to happen just due to the temperatures.
The new concrete street will have curb and gutter, and as with all new concrete street construction, the city is also building sidewalks for pedestrians.
Sidewalk I'm standing on is an ADA sidewalk, which means it complies to the Americans with Disabilities Act, which we're trying to do as an ongoing process. Anytime we rebuild a street, we try to make sure that the sidewalk is put in and it's ADA compliant to allow people with disabilities to get around much better. This whole project will be in concrete, which is much slower, but it has a longer lifetime than asphalt will if it's not properly maintained.
The City of Ada utilizes a street priority list for its construction projects, which is set by the Ada City Council and city staff. West 18th Street is high on that list because of the volume of traffic it carries.
We have to be responsive if something comes up that's a major issue, so we have to be flexible in our scheduling. We have generally some priority streets that we lay out. I speak with the city manager, who in turn I'm sure speaks with the council and gives us some priorities, and we work that priority list. We try to classify our streets as a primary, a secondary, or a tertiary street. Now, we're not going to neglect all the secondaries or tertiaries to redo primaries, but generally when we do a primary or secondary, it's going to be done in a material that's a slower process, like a concrete or a hot mix asphalt. So we're continually doing secondary and tertiary streets as well, but you might do that in a cold mix, which is a little easier process.